Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. Picture this. You wake up, you're surrounded by a dense mist. You don't know who you are, you don't know where you are, you have no idea what's going on. You see a building in the distance. As you get closer, you realise it's a church, but something about the church makes you not want to go in, but you're forced to, you're compelled to. And when you go through those doors, you realise you're witnessing a funeral of a teenage girl. And this teenage girl, you find out, has committed suicide. You don't want to be there, you don't want to see it. You want to leave straight away, but you can't. You're stuck in that scene. A figure appears behind you suddenly and starts talking to you like he knows you. He's very mysterious and you think he's also quite dangerous. You don't know who he is. He's dressed in black, he's got long black hair. Everything about him makes you want to leave, but you can't. What do you do? We're going to find out, because that's exactly what happens to the main character in this book, Messenger of Fear by Michael Grant. I've been wanting to read more young adult novels for a long time now, so I'm starting to grab more from the library and read them. I grabbed this one and its sequel the other day, and I'm so glad I did because I found this a great read. Let's talk more about the plot now. Before we dive into this plot, I'll just mention that on the back cover, there's a warning. It says the book contains scenes of cruelty and some violence. And believe me, it does. I was surprised by this because I didn't think a young adult novel would contain so many scenes like this. And in a lot of these scenes, there was a lot of violence and a lot of cruelty. It was quite shocking to me, but I did continue reading because it did fit the story. The story is very dark, extremely dark. And that kind of hooks you into it because you want to find out what's going on with the main character. Why has she lost her memory? What's she doing there? And it's so cleverly written that you don't learn things in the story until she learns them. We're not given the whole story at all. We don't know where we are, where the character is. And it just makes you want to read more. And she's in such a dark world, such a dark place, that all the things she's seeing, we feel her revulsion, we feel her fear and anger towards the other character who she knows as the messenger, and he's the messenger of fear. So we feel her anger towards him and her situation, and we just witness the things she sees as she's seeing them, and they're designed to make us cringe as well. And she cringes, her character cringes, so it's we're cringing together. We're feeling that together and experiencing everything together. And that's so clever about this book. I think it was really well written. There's one piece of dialogue in this novel, and I think it's the end of the first chapter. The messenger turns to our main character and he calls her Mara, so she thinks her name's Mara. And he says to her, "You live, she does not." And it's said in a very powerful way. It's the end of a very powerful scene. And that hooked me into the book. And that got me just so excited to read the rest of the book. What we learn in this novel is the messenger is the messenger of fear. Now he has a role to play, and it's to right the wrongs that people do. To right the balance. We're not talking about every wrong, accidents and things like that. We're talking about the deliberate wrongs that people do when they know they're doing the wrong thing and they do it anyway, when they have a choice. He has to right those situations, and the way they do that is by giving them a choice to play a game. So what happens, your choice is, do you play yes or no? If you choose no, you lose. If you choose yes, you have a chance to win. So the obvious choice is to say yes, so you have a chance to win. But the games aren't always fair. They're often rigged. And then somebody else comes in called the game master, and he's responsible for choosing the game and designing the game. And the games are often very dark, very violent things. And Mara has to witness them because Mara is the apprentice to the messenger of fear. So she has to follow him, or dragged along with him, to be more honest. And she has to witness them, and she has to learn everything that he's doing. And try to work out at the same time what she's doing there, who she is. While this novel is quite dark and filled with some violent scenes and some cruel scenes, there's also compassion in this novel. The messenger feels sorry that Mara is there as his apprentice, because he was somebody's apprentice once. He doesn't want to be doing the things he's doing, but he has to. He knows that she doesn't want to be doing what she has to do when he stops being the messenger of fear. So he's got a very compassionate soul and nature. Mara does realise this, but it doesn't make up for all the things that she's witnessing and all the things she's going through. So there are a lot of challenges in this novel for the main character to overcome. So that makes it an interesting read as well. It's a very powerful book, and I didn't realise that a young adult novel could be this powerful. Let's start by talking about Mara. At the start of this novel, she remembers nothing, and she's told her name is Mara, and that's all she remembers. Then she gets little bits of memory as we go along, but not much. So she hasn't got much to play with in her backstory, and we don't know much about her. A lot of guesswork. And we pick up pieces from other people's stories as well. So it's almost like she's being taught a lesson as the messenger of fear takes her around to right the wrongs that other people make. I do like the fact that she doesn't always obey what the messenger of fear and other creatures in this strange world tell her to do. She's got her own conscience, and she'll disobey their orders to show that. And she's not afraid of the consequences. So I found that quite a strong character trait, and that made me enjoy this character even more. The messenger of fear is one of our other main characters in this book, and also a great character. The shorthand for his name is Messenger. He's very mysterious, but also very strong, and he comes across as a very sad character. He really hates what he's doing. We get that a lot in this book. We feel that a lot. He hates what he's doing, but he's forced to do it. He has no other choice. And there's some history and some backstory on why he's forced to, but I won't go into that in this video. You can learn that if you read the book. But just that feeling of his sadness and the way he goes about doing his task, that draws us into him a bit. It's almost like he's this kind of broken character in a way. Almost like a black hole sometimes. Sometimes he's very quiet, and sometimes he's very stoic. But there's always this underlying sadness to him. These two characters, the Messenger and Mara, are a great duo. They bounce off each other very well in this book. Everything about them gels well. Their dialogue, their actions, the way they learn about each other as they go along. It's all well written, and it seems very well plotted. They're both characters very strong. There are other beings in this novel that make up the strange world that Mara finds herself in. Two that stand out a little bit in this novel more than others are Oryx and Daniel. Oryx seems to be a very vicious character. She's very conniving, and she seems to be on the darker side of things. She doesn't want the best for people. She wants people to be at their worst. She's attracted, it seems, to evil characters and evil actions. Daniel is very mysterious. We don't know too much about him. He seems to be on the good side of things, and he seems to be there to help the messenger of fear a bit, and he wants the best for all the characters, and he doesn't really like Oryx much at all. So it makes you want to like Daniel more because of that, because Oryx just seems so evil and so conniving and so vicious. This book took me by surprise. The reason it did is because how dark it is, that violence, that cruelty, just that dark vibe it gets all the way through. I rate this a 4 out of 5. I did find it a very exciting, very engaging read. It really grips you from the start. I would recommend it to anybody who likes a good story, a good tale. I will read the next in the series and do a book review, so if you don't want to miss out on that, check out my channel and subscribe. I'll be reading a lot more young adult novels in the future as well. So look forward to those, and check out the young adult playlist that's on my channel. You should see the playlist on your screen now.